It's pretty much a rotation based thing. I guess I'll explain the second part as to what was going on. For those that didn't catch it. This one is pretty much just have your strongest tank that can survive a hit take all the hits for you, because that increased damage is a pain in the ass to deal with. I had Imelda to deal with the Fangs effect from this, and then every turn his attack will increase constantly. So you kind of want to kill him by within 3 turns or so. You can also counter with Chloe. You can counter with what's her name? Juggler as well. So I just move up my tank from to this position. I move my Imelda up so that everybody gets fixed damage. Well, with the exception of her, everybody here gets some fixed damage immunity. And then I move her over here. I drop my summon over here. And I use my summon to pick up the drummer faction buff, per se. And then I just start pounding away at this guy. It's probably the only time I can actually take damage from that, but after that, there's no point. Here I want to try to save my roar. So I instead brought Javelin for as my second attack. And then it's just continuously hammering away at him. And I get a clock proc. So I ignore these two for now. I don't really need them. Javelin does like 1.4x damage, but it's on a 2-turn cooldown. The way Javelin works is it deals up to 1.4, I want to say, or it's 1. Well, the point is I can attack with from a distance, and I can also move again, which is partly why he deals less damage than Air Slash. So over here, I'm gonna have Vargas attack while he still has his debuff, his fixed damage immunity. You probably don't want to try that with Ledin to try to attack, but Ledin already does the twice counter damage, so that's perfectly fine too. Just leave him there, just stand him there. And I have position my. I keep my Imelda right here, so that these 4 get the buff, as well as the. Well, they get both buffs pretty much. Then I move my Lana down here. I want to stay in range of Lanford's buff, of Lanford's aura, so that I always get that 15% increased attack. I'm gonna move my Scar Archer over. I've got a plan. Later on. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna continue hammering away at this guy. Gerald just doing a lot of work for me. I don't even need to freaking heal. So I'm gonna move away for a bit. And I'm just gonna drop a dispel for no reason. I'm gonna park my Sky Archer here for a while. In this particular part, I am actually going to move my Vargas away, because the next because of the debuff that he has, or the debuffs that he has, he's not going to be able to take the next hit too well. So I'm going to move him away, and then I'm going to chunk away at the werewolf. I forgot to reactivate Imelda's talent there. Oops. Don't do that part. It's okay. She fully heals everybody thanks to her skills. And then we'll talk about this particular guy. So this guy has three different events that occur. His first event is he summons units.
Please give me a command.
He summons these units down on the first on one turn, and then at the same turn he's gonna cast he's gonna do paralysis on the next attack. And this particular attack deals pretty much a strong AoE damage, and one target will deal 80% less damage, and it lasts one turn. I usually want it to hit my. I usually want it to hit one of my two healers because they're not going to be attacking. So if it ever does that, that's a good thing. The second one is Lost Voice, where everybody gets hit, and then everybody everybody is basically silenced. And then it's another one that cannot be dispelled and ignores immunity. For the most part, in that particular one, I at least want to try to keep Gerald and Layla out of the way, so that I can still use Holy Word. If Holy Word is on cooldown, then I'll just leave her there and just try to heal up with the passives between Liana's talent and Imelda's regrowth. It's usually enough to recover from Lost Voice's damage, and then at that same turn, these guys are gonna move down, and then I guess I'll talk about that part right then and there. So for now, I'm just gonna hammer away at this guy. I'm not gonna once again, I'm not gonna pick those two up yet.
Thinking, and then
So the buff is ready to be picked up again. So as you can see, these guys start moving down, and you're always hoping that these guys are going to be in range of the AoE. So that's the first hit. So I usually just want to pick up this, and I want to cast. I cast this spell so I can do some minor healing, and then these guys get wiped out by Let-In. Except for that guy. That guy never gets wiped out, so you're gonna have to manually kill him. Now, the thing about that is you always want to have this buff on Let-In. Otherwise, that attack is not going to kill at all. So that's like the biggest issue with it with this fight, is that particular event. And then so now that my Vargas is recovered, I'm going to use my my tanking skill, and then once again start hammering away at the boss. Since I don't have Roar and I don't have any attack debuffs on him, I'm actually going to go and pick up this later.
I've got a plan.
Over here, I'm just going to use Javelin to attack. But I don't need it. I don't need it this next turn. Actually, I do. I do need it this next turn. So I'm going to recover because my Gerald and Layla's not full health, so they're gonna die if I don't recover myself. So I do my attack, heal myself back up, And then because I have move again, I can move up here to debuff this guy. So I try to take less damage from that.
Ready.
And then I'm going to move this guy this way. And thankfully I got Gale, because that means I can actually pick up this again.
We are listening.
And then I go ahead and attack with Gerald and Layla. And I forgot that my soldiers were not at full health. They barely survived. And that particular case, I'm thankful to my core unit, to my core buffs. Otherwise, they would actually not have survived that.
Yes.
And so everybody's silenced in this turn. Everybody else was near the that range. Yeah, my core buffs actually saved me there, but just barely though. And I'm always thankful for the fact that I went that far with my mages, because I really wanted to make my all of my mages that powerful.
Please give me a command.
So I'm gonna not move with her so that these four get the buff, and I'm gonna move her down so that I continue with the healing. And this one. This guy is still being a little asshole. So we got these guys summoning again, which means the next turn is paralysis, the paralysis attack. So I want to move my Scourge over here to try to pick up this.
The target.
And I forgot to heal.
Yes.
Alright, so what this guy does in Terror is it attacks a single target enemy, and if their HP is below 80%, they will die immediately. Which is why I said that you always want to keep your tank top, because he's usually the one that's going to take the hit for Terror, because he can go up and guard it.
Please give me a command.
So that's the first thing you usually want to do, is top him off and make sure he doesn't do anything. Otherwise, if you try to attack him and you lose too much health, you pretty much die. Unless you have like some sort of regenerate skill on you.
The target.
And then it rinse and repeats itself. You're doing the same thing again.
I've got a plan.
He has damage dealt reduced by 20%, which is a nice debuff.
Ready.
And you're just repeating the same shit over and over.
Ready.
I'm actually gonna leave her down here, and then
Only the weak will die, that's all.
so if you want to follow this strat, you have to have all core buffs at max. No, not necessarily. What you want to have is Holy Light Protection maxed, at the very least. And you always want to make sure that your mages are topped off if you're using them. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do Dispel, heal everybody a little bit, and then start dropping them bombs or them meteors. Thankfully I was able to kill the one that was down here.
We are listening.
And over here I'm actually going to heal up a little more.
We are listening.
But I think they're at full health enough to actually
Leave it to me.
take a hit. Here I'm actually going to guard, because next turn is the silence.
I've got a plan.
Yes. Ready.
I've got a plan.
I don't have roar down or roar up, so the next turn is going to hurt if I don't pick up if I don't pick that up. So I'm going to heal everybody up here.
The target.
We are listening.
Move her. I should have actually moved her up. That way, my her buffs would have been distributed properly.
Get everything ready.
The target.
But I think I should be fine for the most part.
Yes.
And
Training. Thinking. And then.
you can skip turns if you're underpowered. Yeah, you can. You have plenty of turns to do this fight, thankfully. So first off, I'm actually going to start off with attacking with Gerald and Layla. So that she heals everybody up.
The target.
That way I save my Imelda heal for afterwards. Meanwhile, I'm going to move this one over here.
The target.
And I'm going to actually act
Give me a
again
command.
with her if I need to pick up
The target.
to pick that up, but that'll be much later.
Leave it to me.
For now, I'm just gonna hammer away at this guy.
Get everything ready.
The target.
And then I'm just
Please give me a command.
going to heal everybody up. My Lana's not fully healed. Right there. That's something to pay attention to. So this guy's actually approaching, which means I'm gonna have to take a hit. I'm actually gonna have to leave my my Sky Archer here, because if I move her down to pick that up, these soldiers are gonna move down as well, down this way, and they're gonna be out of range from the meteor. I've had that happen a couple times, so I'm just gonna bank her here,
The target.
and then I am going to
I've got a plan.
roar first, actually, to lower the damage from for his next attack, as well as
We are listening.
everybody else.
Leave it to me. We are listening.
And then I'm gonna do some AoE healing with Gerald and Layla a little bit. And I'm going to leave her down here. Now she's fully healed, I can actually attack with her.
Please give me.
And I'm just going to
Please give me a command.
probably move her a little bit away from this next attack. Yeah, no, she should be able to survive it just fine.
Thinking. And then.
And just heal Gerald and Layla for the next fight. That way I can just move this one down here, so I can heal up Vargas enough to deal with that next hit. So I'm kind of concerned about this that positioning, because I don't know if all those units are going to be hit.
The target.
We are
Anyways,
listening.
so here I'm going to have to pick up all three buffs at the same time. This guy's not buffed, so if I try to pick up this, he's not going to deal enough damage to wipe these guys. So I'm going to pick up these with a Sky Archer, the buff.
The target. Please give me a command.
Then I'm going to use her. Actually, I'm going to use her to pick up these guys. To drop the meteors while healing
Will die.
everybody up a little
That's
bit.
all.
Charge straight up.
So yeah, I was afraid of this guy not being in range.
Straight up.
So I'm gonna have to deal with him after this.
To me.
Right here,
Yes. The target.
I'm gonna use Lana to focus on the rotten goal.
Please give me a command.
And then I'm going to
Leave it to me.
guard this round.
That's all you can do.
Please give me.
Get everything ready.
I think this is the turn with Lost Voice, so I'm actually going to move over here and pick up that. Actually, do I have an act again?
Yes.
I could try I could actually attack and then go and pick it up.
I've got a plan.
So
Please give me.
I'm
a
just
command.
repeating the fight because I can.
With my faithful heart.
So I'm gonna have her attack again while she's at full health, and then heals everybody up. Come over here, pick up the debuff. That unit's going to die to these soldiers, to that minion, unfortunately.
The target.
So she's unfazed. I can use her to heal these guys up a little bit,
The target.
and I'm going to come down here, deal with this goal.
Please give me a command.
They seem to have very low magic resistance. I use Bernhardt, Elwyn, Juggler, Tiaris, Liana, Lana, and Sky Archer. The next challenge looks like you can brute force it. Panel's watching carefully. I finished it before you. I've already finished it.
We are listening.
I'm just doing it again.
Ready. Please.
Get everything ready.
Yes.
I used Lana, Elwyn, Matthew, Chloe, Diana, Tiaris. Yeah, the challenge was definitely interesting. For sure.
Please give me a command.
I am actually going to drop a summon this turn.
Please give me a
So that I
command.
can have
Thinking.
it ready to pick up this buff.
Leave it to me.
I have to keep this guy topped
Get
off.
everything ready.
I'm going to roar this turn.
We are listening.
And then I'm going to attack with Gerald and Layla. I'm actually going to leave her here this time, I think. Actually, no, I'm just going to move her down. He should be pretty much topped off. I can just leave him there. And I'm going to... I could attack, honestly. I could just straight up attack. But it's kind of risky to do that because she might not be able to survive the next hit. Let's do it. Screw it. Just a little quick preview as to why not to do that. That's kind of risky to do in my case because that ghost will actually be in range to kill it. See, she almost died with a crit because I didn't have Holy Light Protection to keep her alive with. So here, I still have some faction buff on him to utilize. So I could pick that up, but I'm actually going to use Imelda to pick it up.
Only the weak will die. That's all.
And, well, thanks to that, those units will pretty much get wiped.
The target.
There's not much health left on this guy. I can actually just go straight for him.
Got a plan.
Ready.
So that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Please.
I have
give me
Act again
The
to
target.
utilize. And
Leave it to me.
I can just straight up use this attack on him, and that's it. It's pretty much rotation, that's all it is. If you can manage the rotation, this fight is pretty much simple. So hopefully